Good.
Stream is
Yes.
live, in theory. Okay. I think we just need to get one more person in the lobby, and then we can begin.
I am done. I've done everything.
Is everyone in the lobby now?
I don't know if Dom's running on time or during quali. Stress.
Can you... I think the name is Mothman.
Do I have him added? I don't think I have him added.
Should I... Actually, you can add the person while I commentate. And then we tell them to ready up.
His name used to be Moth. Are we going or are we waiting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. I'm actually just like, I can't find it. He's just not on my friends list.
Okay, we should be going.
Like,
very
I can't.
shortly.
Ski, I don't know. I don't know. Let me be tabbed on because I am the host.
Oh, it doesn't show the Steam overlay. But it does show my mouse in OBS. Interesting. I'm just going to see. I don't think I don't have Dom added. Well, we're loading into qualifying now.
Very quickly.
Actually, I'm not in yet. Now I'm in. What will the timer be down to when it loads in? 47, so 13 seconds. I love how we always have the same bugs.
Yeah.
Everyone's on softs. The track is dry. It would be really funny if, when it actually fully loaded in properly, it decided to suddenly switch from dry to wet. That would be the most giga prank ever done by anyone ever. We should hopefully be starting soon once everyone has selected the tyre allocation and the timer. We'll jump back to 18 minutes on the clock, and that is the actual start of the session, because when you do enough of this game, you know the bugs.
Hit me on EA.
Okay, the timer has jumped back now, so the car should be heading out of the garage very shortly. Who will be first? I hear a car firing up from the Mercedes garage, so I'm not sure if that is Adam Bradshaw or Ennis Safari. And I think it's from Ennis's side of the garage, and also I can see there's Mitch has just pulled out of the garage now, so I think Mitch will be the one that we ride on board with, being the first to pull out, and I'll get rid of the tyre thing because we do not need that in qualifying. Unless it starts raining and we want to see who's on the inters and wets. But the Red Bull pulls out of the garage. It's cutting it quite close with the lines and pit exit. Especially considering you don't gain anything at this track by pushing the pit exit. Unfortunately, we are migrating host, as Luke has unfortunately had a disconnect. So I do not know who the new host is. That is going to be a big problem. And the issue with the cosplay lobby is that you can only the host can invite people, unless I try now to invite someone, and you'll just see Mitch going around as with the pause menu, as I'll see if I can invite you, if I have the option to invite you. No, I do not. That is a problem.
I'm gonna go find the host. I bet it's Mitch. I just can't be flipping bothered.
Okay, I can join off Mitch, which suggests that Mitch is the lobby host. And we are now riding on board with the lobby host who comes through turn 12 on an outlap.
BRB. I'll be back in the call in a sec.
Okay. So, Mitch is coming through turn 14 and 15 now, preparing the lap. When is he flicking on the battery? Still hasn't. The battery is still off. Now he's turned it on and is running along the pit straight down into turn 1, doing over 200 miles an hour into the braking zone, making it to the apexes nicely, using most of the track on exit, and is now coming into the fast right hand of turn 3, which leads on to turn 4 and turn 5, cutting the apexes quite nicely there, which opens up the corner and through the tricky corner of turn 6 and turn 7, where you need to be flat out to gain the time. However, if you take them at the wrong angle, you're spinning, as unfortunately it seems like there are a few technical problems going on right now, so there might be a lobby restart necessitated. But Mitch takes turn 8, I think it is, very nicely, cutting all the apex onto a curb, which is actually unsettles the car a surprising amount. However, it was well controlled by the Red Bull driver, who now comes through turn 10, and I can't be bothered to learn the names, and now through turn 11, which is a really long right-hander, where Mitch takes a pretty nice line through it as well, and now through the slow-ish left-hand of turn 12, getting on the throttle, now into the final corners. The Red Bull comes, keeping it nice and tight and clean, although doesn't open up the final corner as much as optimal, which will cost a tenth or two. Now opening the DRS and running down to the line. What lap time is it? It is a 32.7, so an okay lap. Is there anyone else on? Well, Ennis has just got to provisional P1, almost a second quicker. I think the next person to finish a lap might be... No, not that one. Looking at the mini-map. We'll ride on board with Lowry, who... What position did he finish last race? P3 on the podium, second podium of the season after Canada. So pretty good performance from the Williams driver. Coming into the fast chicane of turns 8 and 9. Cuts a decent amount. And gets an okay run out of the corner. I wouldn't say it's ideal, but it is quite strong. Overall, no mistakes so far, although running a little bit wide, which will cost a few hundredths because of the extra distance you have to drive, and seeming just a tad bit under the limit through turn 11. However, it's good to get the banker in without spinning, as the Williams now comes through turn 12, using all the road on exit, although not taking the shortest line, which will cost a few thousandths, although keeping it nice and clean through the final two corners, and now opening up the throttle and the DRS on the run down to the line, and it is a 33.5, so not the best lap overall. Maybe the bits we didn't see were a bit not ideal. We'll go on board with Stain, who is quite low in the battery and might end up derating in the final sector, and is having to lift through that corner. So wonder if there's any wing damage, because that corner is normally easy flat, or if Stain is doing something slightly different, as we also have Manju, who has invalidated in the first sector of the lap, so won't be able to do too much. And there's also Callum Pearce.
Yes, it worked.
Who is...
Oh, finally.
And there's Callum Pearce, who's starting his lap right now after invalidating the previous one, now coming into turn 1 using 4th gear, which gives you a bit more rotation than 5th, and now out of the corner on full throttle into turn 3 now, using all the road and entry and cutting the apex about as much as you can through both turns 3 and 5. Now, out of turn 7, it is a pretty nice run, keeping the foot flat to the floor and now opening the rear wing flap. And the car is going very quickly into the chicane of 8 and 9, cutting turn 8 nicely to open up
we're
the
fixing
corner.
stuff.
Nice, and now...
But we are still relobbying after quali because
Okay.
broke.
And now Callum is running down into turn 11 now. Keeping it nice and tidy overall, 5th gear for the additional stability, and now into turn 12. Gets a decent run out of the corner, and is now about to come into the final corners of the lap, and keeping it nice and tight through 14 to open up 15, and now stamps on the throttle, opens DRS, runs down to the line, and it is going to be a 33.0, which is P10 for now. Ahead of Mike Averton, Lucas Rudd and Stain, who is... I don't know what Stain's doing, this is odd.
I can actually jump on the comms now.
We've got Stamp, who is our race winner at Portimao, who is currently exiting the pit lane on an outlap. France and Portugal are pretty different in terms of track characteristics. One of them being the worst abomination ever, and the other being pretty nice to drive. So the order might be a bit different to last week. But the Haas driver is now coming through El Chicane on an outlap, and will be starting a lap soon, although I'm not sure why I'm commentating an outlap, like it's an actual lap,
Yeah.
but
Right,
whatever floats your boat, or how that saying goes.
quite close at the front. I've come back to seeing at least. But yeah, some updates is, well, the update before was for relobbying after quali. We have 2 new drivers today as well, with Sienko currently sitting second, and our other new driver currently not setting a lap in the Alpine.
Neither of which have been added to the standing, so I don't actually know the name of Manju.
Actually called Adam as well, so we've now got 3
another.
Adams. We have 3 Adams in one tier.
I think I've had that before. I've had 3 Adams that I've had to commentate, and I think they were actually consecutive positions once. But Stamp comes through the corners quite nicely, although 3rd gear is quite a low gearing choice, in my opinion, but you get more theoretical maximum power in 3rd.
Oh, Max got on quickest. 31.6.
As the Haas navigates through the chicane, taking it quite nicely with the cutting the apex, although the minimum speed was a bit to be desired, but overall it was done quite nicely, taking a nice tight line through turn 11. No, that was turn 10, this is turn 11. Meeting the 2 apexes of the corner nicely into turn 12, taking it very tight on entry, which will compromise the exit a bit. Although the exit doesn't seem too bad, now into the final 2 corners, keeping it nice and tight through 14 to try and open up 15, and getting on the throttle, opening DRS and coming across the line, and it is a 31.7, which is provisional P2. Ennis hasn't validated. Is anyone else on the lap? Philip,
New
yeah.
Adam in the Alpine is.
And there's also, let's go with new Adam, who hasn't set a lap yet, so this is going to be important.
Yep.
As someone wants another invite.
Who was it?
Bartek Cinco.
I've sent him one.
Guy wants another. But new
Again.
Adam comes through turn 12. I've
sent
done
him
this to
another.
every other driver who is audibly using full traction control. This guy's using traction control. Bradshaw does a
Bradshaw's gone
31.3. That's kind of quick.
And our new driver at 31.2.
I guess
Hello.
this guy apparently changes traction control settings in different weather conditions.
What, Bradshaw?
Yeah, Bradshaw. As Cinco's requested an invite from me, but unfortunately this is a crossplay lobby. If this wasn't, I would be inviting you right now. And also...
does Cienko have Mitch added, maybe? Because I know they were in the same tier in another league before. There's a possibility.
You can type that so I don't have to tab off.
I'll tab off and I'll go do some exploring. Give me a minute. 5 friends in common. None. No. They... Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. I shouldn't be swearing, but...
Today's not been a great day for you. Is Mitch going for another lap because he's not got enough battery and he's gone very deep into whatever corner that is. Final corner. It's a 35.5.
My game's crashed again. Nah, I'm done.
Do you want me to host the second lobby?
No, it's because I'm inviting people.
No. You could do what invite-only lobbies do and send a backup invite to everyone once they're in the lobby. And this is another 31.3, so 9 milliseconds off his teammate. Is anyone else on a lap? Well, there's Mitch, who is not using the battery. And there's Callum Pierce, who's starting just now. So the McLaren will get a second ride on board. And now coming into turn 1. Taking the apexes quite nicely. And on the throttle out of the corner. Now coming into turn 3. I'm using all the road at the apex, although leaving a bit of space in turn 4. Then going a little bit deep into turn 5, but the McLaren driver's 1/10 up. And I'll say it again, I could hear the traction control saver spin there. I should probably stop this habit of just bullying people with traction control. But the McLaren comes into turn 8. Makes the corners pretty okay. And now comes out of turn 9 onto the long straight where all you can do is just take the shortest line possible, and that is about halfway there as the Mercedes pulls off just before the corner. Uh-oh. I got a bunch of screen stutters there. But looking on the stream, they didn't show up. Actually, they are now. But stream is back to normal.
Fine, we're re-lobbying after quali. Hopefully we have time to fix stuff because this game just doesn't deserve any sort of credit.
We want to start setting up the new lobby as there's 2 minutes left. It's now when I tell another story. So, this is a race that I had some other time. It was somewhat recent, so load into the lobby, my game crashes. Try and get back in, it crashes. Try again, it crashes. So then
How
what
long's
I
left
do...
to quali?
Sorry?
How long's left to quali?
1:37.
Oh, okay, I'm on the correct timer at least.
So
I'll just watch the last runs.
all I can do is go into like the screen you go into the lobby before you actually get into the race thing. And then what I did is I took note of the time and then started a timer so I'd know when the lobby would end, so I'd know when to ping people to join the new lobby after qualifying. And then what basically happened is some guy didn't add me on Steam before the thing, so I needed to do that in the re-lobby thing. And then when I set the grid, it didn't save because I didn't click the escape button, as Kyle has
Inside
retired.
the pits.
Not enough time to get out and do another lap, but Dom leaving a lot on the table, I would say, with these apexes. Maybe not comfortable with the car yet, after not doing many laps and not using much of the track in turn 6.
Lucas could only improve to 15th.
That's not ideal.
For second in the championship, it's not looking like a great qualifying, but when he had a qualifying last time, qualifying time didn't matter, so...
He almost beat me. Like, it was tight. Like, if he didn't speed into the pit lane, he would have beaten me in Tier 1. Which is embarrassing, considering I only had one spin and it's Portugal. I should not be barely scraping through as the checkered flag is out now. And it's already shown the flags directly for 4 people, which is odd. It says a Red Bull somewhere near the racing line as Dom passes by, which is not optimal, as some would say. However, Dom does not appear to be on that great of a lap, as an Alpine decides to absolutely send it into the final corner, and so does a Red Bull, which is understandable considering how slow the lap is, and it is a 35.5 from Dom. But at least he got a lap on the board. What about David Hoy, who is...
Oh, Bradshaw's being blocked by Ennis's AI.
Uh-oh. Let's go and check. I think he's been dispatched of now. But David has not set a lap yet. Where is he in this at 8? And 60 points.
Oh, Champ's gone quickest. What about Bradshaw? Is Bradshaw still improving after getting that minor block from an AI car? No. So finally, David Hoy to finish the session.
And it's pole.
And he think he went pole, yeah.
Pole on your only lap.
Yep.
Pretty decent, but we've got to get into a new lobby.
It was a 31. Does that say a 31?
A 31-0.
0.
What is my red flag entertainment? We need red flag entertainment. How do I get out of the lobby?
Just give me 2 seconds.
I need to load into the race and then quit from there. Race director, here you go. Here's all the stuff. Incidents. Low again.
Yeah, I went to just go and give orders to drive into everyone to get the word of a red flag out, technically.
Okay.
You reset. Realistically, this is technically just, you know, like...
Have you set up the new lobby?
No, because I'm stuck loading.
Ah.
Because this game's awful. And doesn't deserve... Like, I genuinely think you get a group full of 6-year-olds, just give them, like, I don't know, some sort of programming software, and say, program a racing game, they'd make a better game.
Okay, everyone's leaving the session. Now it's time for the red flag show.
Red flag show.
Okay. Should we do a quick fire quiz or whatever?
Yeah, do a quiz.
I need to think of a question for the quiz.
Alright, here we go. Invites are coming fast now. Bang. 2. 3. 4 stop. It got 25.
Okay. Quiz question 1. In Tier 3, this season so far, how many race winners have there been? And sprint race winners who have not won a full race do not count. I want to see answers in chat. There's 13 of you watching.
Oh, starting grid editor.
Belsky does not know. But if you guess something, there's a probability you'll be correct. And if there's a probability you'll be correct, there's a probability that you'll get points. Even if you're wrong, you don't lose anything by guessing. So that is the big brain strat. What do you know? Adam for the win, which Adam? What have you just written in the chat? This red flag show is not going particularly well. Also, make sure you save the grid that you make in the grid editor.
Yeah, I know.
I made that mistake recently. Not good. So then we had to re-lobby again.
Okay.
And then at the very end of the formation lap, some guy, the person who runs the YouTube thing said the stream isn't working. Which is great when you've got, like, when you're lining up on the grid. It's not ideal. So then you have to suddenly click the start recording button so that you can record the race.
Where's David Hoy?
Not in the lobby.
He's the only one missing.
I have a policy that anyone who joins the lobby late gets sent to the back. I wish we could make people start from the pit lane.
It's not quite late yet, but he does need to hurry up, otherwise he's starting from the back. What?
Okay, I'm going to message him now.
Sienko, Pavic, Lowry. We've now had someone disconnect as well.
Uh-oh.
Callum Pierce, Sam,
Go up to 17 in the lobby.
Mitch.
And David is in.
David Hoy goes all the way to the top because he made it in time. So Sam, Mitch, Lucas, and then the bottom 3 were Mike, Staying, Dom. Confirm changes. I'm now going to get a screenshot of the grid. Someone confirm. Just so I can have that.
Okay, we are looking.
I think it's all correct.
I think it's correct.
That's amazing. What isn't correct is approximate weather. And we have everyone in their cars.
Grid looks
Yes,
correct.
hallelujah.
Do we ready up now?
Yep. We go.
That was a 7-minute re-lobby.
That's not awful.
7
Is
minutes
it?
is pretty quick, actually. It's normally more like 10 minutes.
Alright, do you want to put your stream back on to the
Yeah,
Formula 1 gameplay
it's
action?
back on. Oh wait, I need to...
Remember setups. Remember your setups. Hoy isn't in, guess he is. My.
Oh, someone's
Thanks,
reminded
sir.
everyone to do their
Thanks,
setup.
sir.
I think it's funnier when someone has 818 wings, isn't particularly quick on the straight, and then hits one corner and then goes straight on.
I've loaded him really quick. Have you loaded
I
him
have
really
loaded
quick?
in already.
Paul Ricard. I can see the podium. I can see softs in the Mercedes garage and the Red Bull garage. And it's not Mitch. Otherwise, I'd say it makes sense. But I think that's probably because people aren't loaded yet. And we are.
Yeah.
And we won't know when because we're not going to get any sort of timer. Actually, you've got a timer.
Yeah, my timer's now disappeared, so I think everyone's now selected their tyre allocation. When that timer went out...
So now, yeah, because it's changed to mediums in the garage, which is the default strategy, medium hard.
For me, sometimes it was... When I did no qualifying, it was hard medium. When I did do qualifying, it was medium hard, which I do not understand. As someone's already readied up, did they load the setup in time? I
I'm
don't
on
know.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I've got 10 seconds as well.
Okay, good. I can still see mediums, but we're going to be going to the grid. It's your turn this time to do it.
Okay. Okay, lining up on the grid for the French Grand Prix. 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And away we go for the French Grand Prix after a long hold, and it's an incredible start from New Adam, who is pulling alongside with David Hoy, who's had an absolute stinker of a start, as they're going side by side through turn 1 and 2, and that's allowed...
Oh, someone's got just absolutely launched in the background. That's Ennis out of the race.
Out of the race. However, up front, it's been a really bad start for David, who's gone from pole position all the way down to 4th. As there's a Haas going slowly in the background. Will that bring out a safety car? Not right now.
I just saw Ennis get missiled.
That was a bit crazy.
Yep.
But Mitch is going side by side down the straight with Callum Pearce. Hopefully there is no collision. He's going side by side into turn 8 and now turn 9. And I think they've made it through without touching. And also there's...
Ennis is the desync. If it's desync, then we'll have to restart.
Could you VAR that based off Ennis's POV, assuming that Ennis is streaming?
Give me 2 secs.
As the game's flicked up a strategy, saying the default one is hard medium or medium medium soft. Hard medium's actually a pretty good strategy, as sorry, wrong person said that Mitch has gone extremely wide and is in the pits. I'm not sure why. But in the lead, Stamp is currently 4 tenths ahead. We'll check the tyres right now. As Stamp and New Adam are both on the hards, and then there's Bradshaw, who's on the mediums, And then David's on the hards, and then everyone behind is on the mediums up until Adam number 3, who is currently P8 and outside of DRS.
Right. Currently trying to get a POV off
Okay.
Ennis as quick as possible.
I don't actually see any desync here. So it might have just been someone assassinating in turn 1, but side by side at the front through turn 11. And so now they're coming through turn 12. So apparently Kyle was lagging a lot, so that might have been a bit of... Kyle seems fine right now, right on board, because that exposes any internet problems, and right now it seems to be fine. If we start lap 3 and new Adam sets the fastest lap, but apparently someone teleported in front of Ennis.
Yeah, Carl's lagging a little. I just saw he had a bit of a... It seems like he's screen freezing. Carl's having screen freezes, which is not desync.
And we're not going to do a Monza where we restart the lobby where we maybe shouldn't have.
Yeah.
If we followed the rules very strictly. But
yeah.
There is a bit of wiggle room. But further back, it's a very tight DRS train with actually 5 cars. What's the straight line speed that Stain's got? Uh-oh, that's not good. As Philip has just yeeted Dom into a spin.
Oh.
And what else? Lucas is going on the inside of the turn and says yellow flags apparently as the other half has spun. Wait, that was the race leader.
No, it wasn't. Second place. Champ was. And Adam was in the lead. Yeah. You better stay on New Adam.
And now...
Yeah, we'll tip in the name New Adam.
I think this is medium Adam.
We have an Adam 1-2 at the moment.
Yeah. As Philip Jeff gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pits after breaking a wing, so not the optimal start so far. But Lowry is currently right on the back of David and on a softer compound of tyre, although that is not the most ideal run through turn 5, so I think David will be safe for now. Although, Lowry's running much less wing it seems, and is able to close in a lot on the straight, however David is able to hold it under braking. However, David is right now outside of the critical 1 second mark, so next lap will not have DRS, however he has been saving the battery, so I would have expected it him to close up a bit more. But Adam number 3 is trying to make a move on Kyle. These two had a bit of an incident at Monza, which involved tapping. Kyle just broke a bit too late and then tapped Adam into a spin, as Sam Hussein has also had a bit of an oopsie daisy. But the Aston Martin will have the aid of DRS, which Kyle will not have, as Sam has had another spin, so I expect the tyres are gone, and the rear wing is open on the back of that Aston Martin.
As Adam Lapey just moved past Carl Mack in the Battle of the Lag.
The Battle of the Lag, yes. And also Lapage is on harder tyres, which right now will be slower.
Bradshaw seems to be forming a bit of a train here. With David
gosh,
Toy,
Lapage is
Larry
lagging so hard.
Yeah,
This is just pain to watch.
to be fair, on Carl's screen it probably looks completely fine as Sienko's into a wall.
Fortunately,
I can't
not
tell if that's his front
damage.
wing or an advertising barrier It was part of his front wing and an advertising barrier as David Hoy goes for the move for second on Adam Bradshaw, leaving plenty of room for the Mercedes, who will keep the position for now. However, this is letting new
Oh, it's
Adam
Lowry
escape
going...
the front as Lowry's going for it now in the
But
Williams.
he's dumped all his battery because his red light is flashing.
Tell you something, Lowry's really come alive in these last few races, to be fair.
Yeah,
As David tried to make a move. Oh, that was
almost ended
close.
in a spin. And I'm sure this is making new Adam happy, as all this fighting just means that he's able to pull away. Yes, oh my god. Boo. I think David will be wanting to get past Lowry, and he'll be seeing that flashing red light, and he's on 70% right now as Cinco has sped into the pits. Unfortunately, which is a 5-second time penalty. But David seems to be taking the corners quite nicely, and is now coming out of turn 5 into the tricky turn 6. And then you want to open out the exit of turn 6 as much as possible, just so you can get as much momentum onto the straight, because turn 7, on this game at least, is pretty easy flat, which it seems...
Consider retirement, that's sham. How's he been there?
I was just saying that turn 7 is easy flat. Maybe it isn't easy flat. Actually, Leipzig is going side by side with Kyle through the fast right-hander, and it seems like they both lift off the throttle a bit, as Yoni says, "Mein Gott muss das sein."
Right off at race 6.
Which, quick quiz question, what race and what driver famously said those words?
Rules and flags. Safety car is on.
No one's got any points from the quick fire quizzes so far, so this is your opportunity to get P1. 55. Almost. As there's action further back.
Let me do a quick review. As quick as I can do. I'm reviewing Ennis's desync slash lag slash whatever happened. So Carl goes alongside him, lags a bit, and Ennis then gets hit into by someone, which wasn't desync. Kyle ghosted, and it wasn't Kyle who hit him, he got hit from behind by someone else.
So VAR review says no restart.
Oh, David's gone. That's what VAR says.
Has he broken the rear wing?
Hit on the back of the car.
That is probably the more important question. Has he got rear wing damage? Because if he has, that car is going to be horrendous to drive. It's a shame I can only give 3 penalty points per incident. I don't know why I'm saying that, but if Ennis went flying, I'm not sure what else I would really want to do. There's yellow flags as David has had another spin, which probably suggests that the rear wing is a bit damaged.
Yeah, probably. Callum Pearce is 6th.
That's quite good, although there is a time penalty looming over that McLaren for the end of the race. Track limits at France are interesting because you can extend at basically every corner. However, the white lines are so chunky that you need to go out really wide to actually leave the track. The Bradshaw's now got 3 seconds. Which will be good news for Lowry, who just has to stick with him, as David's had another spin, so I suggest that is a broken rear wing. Why am I not talking?
I know you are.
Now I am. Dom is in the pits. to put on some new mediums.
Kyle's reporting desync. Or is he saying desync or
Is he
what? I don't
texting
know.
while striving or whatever? He seems to be going in a straight line right now. Although he had to lift through turn 10, which is, as some would say, a skill issue. Although just a minor one. Or maybe that's actually no. His front left is on 103 degrees Celsius. I think that might be why. As Sinker has now got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I'm just watching the front left tyre screaming out as it is now at 104 degrees Celsius. Which is not ideal, if I'm being completely honest. So if someone put the pressures a little bit high. Because right now, Kyle is reporting that Leafage is having the biggest desync ever, which is understandable lag, as David has now got a penalty after speeding the pit and has retired to get rid of that rear wing. Yeah, he's retired to get rid of that rear wing. What else is happening? Now he's just sitting behind in Bradshaw's DRS and is very slowly recharging the, what's it called? Battery, yes. Also, Kyle right now is not too far behind Lucas Budd. These drivers right now are P2 and P3 in the standings, and championship leader Ennis got taken out in turn 1.
Yeah, from the POV that I got to check if it was desync. So Cole has a minor bit of lag, which obviously ghosts him. He then ghosts off in front of Ennis and through about 5 other cars, which isn't ideal, but what you really do. And then I just saw Ennis got missed out by Mitch in the background. Yeah. And then Carl reporting desync and Adam, that could be either way round, to be honest, from what we saw. Kyle could be having major internet issues, as Adam normally has minor lag here and there, but it not normally full red X, you know what I mean.
We're doing Battle of the Lags.
Ah, that ended. Kyle's now following Lucas Rudd, who's 6th place.
Kyle Rudd is... If
Kyle
they
Rudd.
finish like...
Kyle Rudd.
Oh god. But if they finish like this, Lucas Rudd will be championship leader after this round. Somehow. After scoring only 16 points
Adam's
in the
got...
first 4 rounds.
How's he... Oh, he's... okay, he's gone there. You know what, I'm not going to say hey, because to be fair, it's doable. Now I have to hear the engines go ooh at every traction zone.
Yeah, I love that sound. Or not. When I first heard it, I thought, ew, but then I just got used to it, and when they... Like, I think it was 2020 and 21, it was 100% of the time, and then on 22, when it first came out, it was like 50% of the time, and I was one of the people who didn't suffer from it. And I thought it was because I was so used to hearing it was weird having proper engine noises. And what I am going to cry about is the traction control I've been hearing from some people. As race leader has now got a 3-second time penalty, so Lowry, if there's a safety car that comes out right now, I think the Williams driver is in prime position to switch on the prime tyres, just some terminology you've probably not heard in 8 years, and then take them to the end for a prime result. As I should probably stop with the puns.
Sienko retires in the pit lane after what I assume was very hot tyres.
Yeah, I think Kyle is struggling a lot with temperature on the option tyres. As he cuts the corner on stream and takes a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Like...
Oh, that's almost a spin from Bradshaw. That was close. As Bradshaw is now on Steam as well. Something to mention.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Larry's
in the pits. That's a very safe pit entry.
But it's illegal because obviously, well, pit entry here is different.
You're allowed to do basically anything. Like, there was another league where if you even touched a dashed line, you get a 5-second and 2 penalty points. Here, you can basically do whatever you want.
Safety car line 1, you just need to be in by, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
which
after
makes
that...
it very easy to determine.
Yeah,
rather than guessing.
Yeah, guessing like I had to do with Ennis at Monza. I just said, nah, guy didn't cross the pit line. As Lowry is now put on the prime set of tyres. I like using prime option and quali. I'm going to start doing that instead of soft, medium and hard. I guess the prime option and quali was useful when they had like the hyper softs, the ultra softs and the super softs.
Yeah. Now it's sort of just C1, C2, C3,
Yeah.
C4, C5.
I think the tyres
But they
are
call
quite...
them soft, medium, hards, and adjust accordingly to the track.
Yeah, and at every track except Australia, they always bring consecutive compounds. It's so boring for tyres nowadays. Like, this game, they made the tyres as boring as possible because every compound, like the hards feel like hards, not C1, C2s or C3s. Like on last year's game, you could feel the difference between a C3 and a C4. And the C4s are generally the best tyre at almost every track last game.
Lucas jumps into the pit lane, and Carl. They're all doing it the safe route, which is, to be fair, probably even better for them.
Yeah, you don't want to speed into the pit lane because then you get a 5-second in-game time penalty. This is a very slow pit lane.
Our race leader's got an 18-second lead at the moment.
Nice. Where will
and
Lucas...
he's pretty much the only one to go medium hardest. Carl's gone for softs.
That might have been an oopsie daisy. As Bradshaw emerges ahead of Lowry, however, is on cold tyres, and Stain's going to go for a move, although backs out, which invites Lowry in. And now he's going to try and go around the outside of turn 5. And the Williams has got the move done by the time they reach the apex, so Lowry on the much warmer tyres and the DRS I think will be going for a move to try and get ahead of the Mercedes right now.
Got the battery and the DRS. There's a spinner of Sam in the Ferrari. As here comes Lowry. Not quite able to launch it around the outside. Just using to play it safe. No need to go for a potentially race-ending move on lap 13.
Race-ending moves are good for the television viewers. IMH show.
They are, but it's also like it makes you just want to face plant a wall watching what some people sometimes will do.
Yeah.
We got a nice train here though for 5th place. No, 4th place even. Here for Mike
second
and
place one,
Slapage
and Pierce box for the options.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or as I like to say, the C3s.
As here comes Lowry with the battery and the DRS. And there you go. Into turn 1 moved up.
Sam has sped into L pit lane, which a lot of drivers have done.
On 12. It's an early start.
Have they moved the pit limiter line like they did in Brazil? Because when all the esports drivers went to Brazil in a league race, half of them sped into the pit lane because apparently the restriction line is at a different place in the esports and the regular build.
Bradshaw's using a bit of battery to try get back onto the back of the Williams, whoever doesn't get close enough before the corner. Honestly, this is not a great day for anyone in the championship fight. I can't lie.
Lucas is currently P9, although I think virtually P6 or P5, which is enough to take the lead in the standings. And then Kyle, I'm not sure what the strategy is for Kyle, if I'm being completely honest, because if you're overheating on the mediums, your tyre temps are going to be even worse than the softs, although they haven't reached equilibrium yet. Although I think the equilibrium might be in the 105 sort of region, so too toasty pre-patch, as they're already in the 3 digits, and we've only done 2 laps on them so far. As they're already at 102 on the front, so we'll check back in a lap or two to see how much Kyle is dying. However, he does set the fastest lap.
Oh, Sainz gone in the Ferrari.
Just a normal spin. No one's retired and brought out a safety car yet. We've had 2 retirements, but Mylander is happy to just sit there and wait.
I was looking for a move now on Stain and gets it done. As Lepage picks up a 3-second penalty. And, well, I'll tell you something. Yeah, late safety car, or a safety car. Lowry is looking good as Stain is spinning probably from hot tyres. And yeah, they're 100 degrees all round on hards.
Yikes. Sam Hussein's
Not ideal.
got another penalty, and right now I'll just... No, I don't want that. I want detailed penalties. Here's the penalties. No one's broken above the 10-second barrier yet, as Staines had a spin.
Callum's in. Callum's probably coming out in a decent spot here. P8, would he be? Yeah, he'll probably be P8. The France pit lane's quite long.
It is a very long pit lane.
He's going to bolt on the mediums, and he's going to have a chance to attack. He's going to be P7 actually as Mike speeds into the pit lane.
I'll check on the chuck on the leader thing. So when our race leader pits, we know how expensive the pit lane is in terms of seconds. Because that is important data, as Callum is now coming out of the pit lane.
Not too far behind Lucas, to be fair,
Yeah.
and he has got the medium, so he's going to have an advantage as Stain has retired. On track at the final corner, and that's a safety car.
That is a safety car. Oh! Just
Hello.
We were talking about someone retiring and bringing out a safety car.
He's completely bent that in the middle of the track, I saw. You've got a nice helicopter cannon stream I've just seen. I want that.
That is an interesting way to bin it. I will be honest. And I guess we're switching back to intervals, so we're not finding out how long the pit lane is.
Lowry's in a really nice spot, I guess. I mean, Lowry could pit again if he's got 2 sets of mediums, as Adam Bradshaw's just picked up a 3-second penalty under safety car. That brings his total up to 6.
Certified squill issue confirmed.
Very nice.
I need to give about 1 out a week, and this one gets it. You say Manju EZ win, however, guys got a time penalty.
Really.
Yeah, although I suspect that brand new options will be decently quicker than Lowry's primes.
Oh my, Lucas just about gets back in there. He went a bit wide onto the red stuff.
Is
The red
Lucas
and
in
white.
for some options? I would guess so. As Ennis has decided to call it quits on spectating. Do you know how the prime and option name came about? Because it's just one of those things that when I started watching it just existed. And I didn't get why it was that way. Luke died.
No.
I should probably find that
Maybe.
out, and then I can do that as a quiz question one day. All 14 of you watching, hello. Actually, I just had a thought.
What's your thought?
I'm going to do a better mid-race broadcast thing. So if we do that and this, you can see what happened.
What the in the desync just happened there? I'm out.
There we have it, if you want to see it again. So going side by side, a bit of lag,
Desync just
and then
happened
there's
there?
a car
I'm out.
on the left. And I'll play it at we have a slow speed
What
replay
the
even.
in the
Bonk.
desync just
And then
happened there?
in the bin.
Okay,
mid-race thing done. Back to normal broadcasting. Once I get the stream back up on my second monitor, so I can see all of L chat. And now we're back on the game.
Callum's chilling far behind.
I guess you don't want to put too much wear on the tyres, and you want to...
Tell you something.
Wait, why is my intervals... My deltas are broken. Hopefully they'll fix themselves.
I tell you something. I think New Adam, as long as he can break Lowry, I think it could be quite a cruise for him. I mean, it depends if the oldest of the Adams in fourth can get through. So we have New Adam, the oldest Adam, and
There's middle Adam in between.
middle Adam.
Now he's in an Adam sandwich.
Lovely. Coyle has lost the position. I think
Another
he's spun the
another
safety car.
certified squill issue confirmed.
Coyle's internet's
Someone else got a penalty on the safety car. I think the safety car will be out for one more lap. Is this the first or the second lap? Because I didn't catch that with my mid-race safety car replay broadcast.
he's zoned out, so
I think this is the first one.
yeah, Cole.
So we've got another
Cole's so he's having lag because his controller keeps disconnecting,
one.
teleporting him backwards. Yeah, Cole, your internet's being a bit interesting.
The question is whether Dom will catch up to the back of the pack by the end of the lap, so that will determine whether we get 2 or 3 laps of safety car. However,
It'll be next lap because we're already at the pit lane.
Yeah, it will be next lap, but will it be next lap or in 2 laps time? But I'll do a qualifying style commentary of Dom's push lap, taking it flat out through, I think it's Senior or whatever, now into turn.
This corner's put cross on,
cross
in
on.
my opinion. Yep, 100%.
Not pushing it on the limit, probably just keeping it safe, as this is just a medium banker lap, so you're not really aiming to set fastest lap. But it seems like he's backed off to recharge the back, although he's not doing the flipping between neutral and first, so I'm not really sure what's happening. And he's decided to push a bit harder now, and is now coming out of the final corner, and is getting on the throttle, switching on the battery even. That's quite aggressive. And now comes across the line, and his battery is basically done already, so I'm not sure what he's going to do for the rest of the lap as he runs deep into turn 1, which then carries forward into turn 2. As now on the run into turn 3, there's not much battery left in the tank, although he does take turn 3 very
Like
nicely, cutting the apex.
It's quite a clean track out on this lap, you know.
Yeah. And now coming through turn 6, one of the trickiest corners. Going up through the gears through turn 7, keeping it flat, switching on the battery for the long straight, which will propel you on the 1.2 kilometers it takes to get back to the back of Sam Hussein, who is unfortunately going to be impeding this okay qualifying lap, unless it's not qualifying and it's in fact the race.
Yeah, it is the race. So
And
let's
safety
get back
car
to it.
will be in this lap. I have psychic powers.
Or maybe the gamer has some sort of logic.
Maybe that.
Nah,
I'm
the game
surprised
doesn't
that
have
the
logic.
third sector starts that early. If I was a person placing the sectors, I would put the end of the first sector right where the DRS detection zone is between turn 6 and 7, and the final sector just before the braking zone for turn 11 croissant. As that way you have the middle sector, which is basically a giant straight line into the tiny chicane. Although if you're playing on ACC, it is a straight line that is longer than Baku. Although in ACC, turn 10, which is turn 8 in ACC, is not flat in the GT3
There's no
cars.
Adam gonna
But
go
New
there.
Adam is doing the restart quite late, although he's optimising the exit out of the final corner and is not going, which is... Oh no! That is not good. Although that is a
Fine.
good start for New Adam. What about old Adams? Adam and Adam are on the back of Lowry, who's attacking the back of Adam.
As Lowry's gone deep, and that's going to allow Adam Bradshaw through. And now Adam Lepage is also going to switch on the battery and go for a move. There's a spin for Pavic in the background as Lepage dives it, and there's contact there, and there's 3 cars reigned. Adam Lepage spun by himself. I think Mike hit Lowry, which sent Lowry flying.
Yeah.
And Lucas Woods up to 4th with no penalty and fresh mediums.
This has not been a good restart.
Mitch is 5th, although if he gets reported by Ennis, he'd probably have a big penalty as he's also lost that position to Colmar. I'm sure Sam's on softs.
That's not going to work. I think the wear rate is like 7 or 8% a lap on the softs. Times 8 times 8 actually, it's not... Ugh. I think the tyres will be just borderline puncture territory by the end. Have we neglected the fact that Callum Pearce has not taken anyone out today and is in P3?
I think we sort of have. I mean, to be fair, he hadn't really done too much of that this season. It's just Monza he turned into what we call a missile.
Yeah.
Picked himself up a race ban for poor driving standards, and well, he's come back this week after serving the race ban in Portugal.
After skipping the worst track on the calendar.
Oh, car's gone. And I don't think Ennis will be watching, but that's some sort of daylight for him. Now he just needs Lucas to drive into a wall.
Lucas is currently P2 overall.
Callum's closing in Bradshaw here as well.
Yeah, I think that is the power of the options, which are the option you want to be on right now.
As Mitch is under attack from Sam, who's using the 2 laps that those softs are going to be good for. And this is the second one of those. And he's going to go side by side with the Red Bull as Mitch gives him the good old squeeze, but leaves him enough room. And
they're out
Mitch
safe. No Spinella. Lowry's also
Lowry.
quite close to the back of Dom.
Yep.
Lowry is on worse tyres but has more battery as Dom is flashing. So you get a nice wide angle shot of the
Lepage is also going for a move on Sam here, and he's got that one. And now he's got Mitch in front.
DRS should be getting enabled this lap.
As Lowry and Dom are side by side, Lowry's got that move done.
What else is happening?
Lepage just using the battery, closing up to Mitch. And gets right on the back of the Red Bull through turn 1 and 2.
They are very
But
nose to tail.
yeah, and Sam's right on the back of this as well, so
This could be a pretty
Sam's going to go for this.
Oh, that's a send.
And it's a good send, to be fair. He's got the move done.
But will Leapage have more straight line speed? Or will Sam have more straight line speed?
Face on me, it looks like Sanders.
And he's
It's
closing
about
in on
even.
Mitch.
As yeah, and that's with 8 battery. Adam gave it a good blast of the battery at the start of the straight.
Yeah. I suspect the Ferrari has just chopped off the wing, or has found the 2019 engine. It's
Tell you
actually the
something.
most recent time they raced here before 2022.
Tell you something, New Adam's having a great time. I think being in that spot where he was, I think Lapage having that spin has definitely made it quite comfortable for him, as he was the only
Leapage
close
is
one on the
lagging so
mediums.
hard.
As yeah, not ideal.
But Lucas Rudd is right on the back of Callum Pearce and Bradshaw. Although all he needs to do is not drop out of
He's
DRS.
got a good exit there, and
Yeah,
we know
Callum
what
is
Lucas is
flashing.
like. He's really good with saving that battery, and he saved it right up there to go for the move, and Callum back saved.
goes
Lucas actually
really
goes
deep.
deep. I could have potentially worked out for Callum if he was a little more aggressive. Maybe still just backed out to not be alongside and just went for it. But
Mike Averton has sped into the pit lane and got a 5-second time penalty. Will he be retiring from the race?
maybe he's bolting some softs on for a faster slap or something. He's getting a new front wing.
I think Lucas Rudd was
Oh,
within DRS.
Sam's got past Laggy Lapage, who's now going to lag his way out the session, and his AI is going to make the move for him.
And then Sam's
We've also got to move. Oh no, the Bradshaw spun.
Is that a half spin or something? Because he hasn't lost that
so.
much.
Yeah, he sort of just went sideways on the exit of the corner, and that's allowed Lucas Rudd and Callum Pearce pass.
Do you know who is P3? Net P3.
Mitch.
Yes. I remember once I was commentating
Mitch had France.
Yeah, at France, and he was like on for a podium, and chat was just bullying me because I was bullying him. So then I got counter-bullied. That was probably my favourite solo commentary, or maybe my favourite commentary I've done. There's been some good races that I've commentated. There was also one at Mexico, which is in 2 weeks' time in GRS. Oh, we've got Hungary in between. Why? Mein Gott muss das sein.
I mean, I know it's not as exciting racing as, well, what we see today, but it's not an awful track.
Callum Pearce. I'm not sure if he's in DRS of Lucas. He's flashing and does not have DRS. So Bradshaw's going to close in, and I believe they both have 3 seconds. Bradshaw has 6.
Yep.
He was, oh yeah, you got one under safety car.
Mitch is proving the fact that if you just don't get penalties.
Yeah, normally he gets like 15
Yeah.
seconds, but last time he came to France he didn't get a penalty as well.
Maybe this is just his track.
Yeah,
Although,
or maybe he's good at sticking within the edge of the white line, because you can see how fat the white line is. Like, you could park a bus inside the white line that defines the track limit, and it's the outer edge of the white line.
I just
that
realised
counts.
Mitch also was good at. He was 16. He was last after lap 1, after launching Guinness into a wall and inevitably picking up damage, throwing out the pit. And he's now here. As there's yellow flags, that is Sam. And those softs are probably dying, as our race leader's gone round as well.
What?
Yeah, that
He's
gap's
9
just come down
seconds
for
ahead.
6 seconds.
Now it's 3 seconds. This race
If Lucas gets a move on,
Oh,
Oh,
Mitch.
Mitch. oh well, it doesn't matter. I don't think he would have been getting the podium. It was close, but
We need to
Eric,
clip
it
us
really
saying
depends on
"Oh,
how much
Mitch"
people
simultaneously, because that was just great.
we got a bit of a train for P8 behind Dom. with Pavic and Carmack.
They're all
As
low in
Lucas
battery.
is...
Carl's tires are 103 degrees on the straight, as Lathrop just had another DC.
Lucas is literally on that 3-second gap.
This is
I'm checking the tyre temps of our race leader just to make sure they're all intact and he's not having any issues as Dom's had a spin. And they are high 90s, so if he has any moments, that's not going to be ideal for him. He just needs to keep it under control now, and he should have to win, but Lucas is picking up the pace a bit.
Lucas has only won on stewards penalties before. He's not won with on-track penalties yet.
And that gap's 2.7 with 2 laps to go. I think this all depends on, does Callum Pearce get close enough to do anything to Lucas to stop him?
I think
Callum's going to get a podium out of this.
Yeah, but he is struggling to stick inside that DRS, but if he does stay within, there's really not much that Mitch can do, and I don't think Bradshaw can really do anything, because he's got 6 seconds. So I think Callum is on track for a very strong podium finish.
Guess this is just a good track for him as well, which is interesting. I mean, everyone has their strong tracks, and well, to perform at it is what you need to do. So you just need to focus on picking up points at your best tracks, and well, it's a good redemption after getting a race ban, isn't it?
Yeah.
As New Adam has pulled that gap up to 3.3, which is crucial.
Well.
Yeah. He just needs to keep
Lucas's
the lap times is up right now.
rear left is on 101. That compares
Yeah.
to 98 for the front left of New Adam, so I think New Adam's probably got this.
Yeah, he's managing to build that gap more and more. So Callum's getting a little closer, mate. I think he's just trying to stay as close as he can in case Lucas makes a mistake. Potentially picking up a penalty, maybe he can try capitalise. I don't think he has the battery to do so, however. So it's just about bringing it round for the line. As Lucas has got 8 temps to gain, but with the high tyre temps, it's going to be difficult, as I think New Adam's on course for the win here, just doesn't need a mistake and he'll be fine. And he's deploying all the battery. Lucas needs to get on that now, and he has done. A second in essentially a sector and one corner is difficult. As New Adam gets that really nicely, Lucas is going to have to get it perfect to even maintain the gap, and yeah, he's lost 3 temps through there. He's gained a bit on exit though, gained a 10th. As Carmack picks up more penalties. As I think it's going to be a win for New Adam, just a few corners to go now.
Just don't spin at final corner.
Or pick up a penalty at this late time. He's
Oh,
got right on the line
close.
there. If that was like his final warning, that could have been a penalty. But he brings it round the final corner. And on debut, Adam has won the race. Lucas Rudd's going to come across the line second. Callum Pearce will be third and will keep that. Bradshaw
Snake will be
fourth.
5th.
Yeah, Mitch 5th by 2 temps. Lapidge 6th. Lowry will be 7th in the Williams. Carmack will drop, I think. Yeah, Carmack drops to 9th. Pavic 8th. Dom brings home a point in 10th. And then Mike and Sam Hussein. As what was I going to look at? Who had the fastest lap? The fastest lap went to Carmack with the 33.7.
That was like in the middle of the race. And New Adam
Yeah.
always beat it with the 33.8. time to go to the race results and then the interviews.
Yep. Couple of new people for interviews. Hopefully they'll come join in. I don't need to get the race director, but you'll need to grab it.
I'll grab it myself.
Yeah.
That's a decent number of track limit warnings. Not Canada or Mexico extreme.
It's still pretty lengthy. Alright.
And I'll just check the lap times of New Adam, so you can see how much was lost by that spin. It was doing, let's say, 34 zeros, and that was basically a 42, so that was an 8-second spin. As Bradshaw on now to PC's butt really hurts from being sat so long.
Should we
go to
interviews? Yeah. Yeah, just invite them along. Lucas Road at. I'm inviting them now. Let's see if we get some response.
Has anyone joined?
Oh, it's well. Here we go. Let's bring him in. There we go. Okay, they should be able to. There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
No.
There we go. So, we'll start with Lucas, then work our way up. So, P2 today, Lucas, after
Yes.
pretty much just keeping it consistent in the end and picking up no penalties after the final safety car, which was a massive bonus for you. However, you managed to get yourself up into P2 on track anyway, so a good result, which I think puts you top of the standings now, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so. It
I'll have
was
to have a
a
look at that.
pretty bad qualifying. I knew that France wasn't a good track for me, but I just kept it consistent and that paid out.
Yeah, let me check the standings. Yeah, that puts you like 13 points ahead, I think. I'm not sure, something like that. But well, that gives you a solid lead with 3 races to go now, and
Yeah.
well, you're gonna have to hope you can just carry that the form you're on right now into the final few races, as that
Yeah.
makes it 4 podiums in the last 5 races, which is very solid.
Yeah. That's it's solid, but I don't know. I don't think I drive that fast. I'm just consistent. I don't know. I guess it pays off, but it doesn't feel like today was like a horrible race for me, I think. I was on the pace with the back markers in the start of the race where I started. Just didn't crash, but it works out.
Uh, so hold on, just give me a moment. Anyways, moving over to Adam then. First race, first win, and well, it was dominant for you really in the end, as you sort of built a lead at the start, then off the restart, you did the same thing again. Had a bit of a spin, however, you managed to just keep that gap above 3 seconds and took the win in your first race here, which was impressive to see. How do you think the race went from your perspective?
Yeah, this race was kind of good for me. Qualifier was a little bit unlucky. I should be on P1, but some Alpha Tauri blocked me on the last sector, and I lost like 500 tenths. So yeah, unlucky. Race kind of good. After start, I was on the second place. I managed to pass the Haas on the second lap, maybe, or the third lap. I don't know. And after that, I was built my pace, and unlucky. Safety car was really unlucky for me because I was have like 10, maybe 15 seconds, and after that I lost it. After safety car, I managed to build like 10 seconds ahead of the car behind me. I spin, and I have like 3 seconds after that. It was yeah, really intense at the end of the race, but yeah, I'm really happy, and yeah, nice to start the season for me on the first place.
Yeah, I saw. It seemed like people were struggling a lot with tyre temps. I saw on Lucas, especially you had tyre temps over 100 degrees at one point towards the end
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, mine was pretty hot.
Yeah, I assume tyre temps was something that was difficult to manage that race.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll be racing at Hungary next week. What are your thoughts for that race? Just to both of you, really. Thoughts on the track and how you think it'll go for you.
I don't know. I like this track, so should be fine for me.
Yeah, I also like Hungary, so it will be hopefully a good race.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for the interviews,
Of
and
course.
well, hopefully we'll get to speak to you again next week.
Yeah.
That'd be nice for all you guys, obviously. Although I'm sure, well, from track to track, it's going to be really vary who's at the front. But yeah. So that is going to conclude this stream off now. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week in Hungary.